had the iPhone 15 Pro Max for about 8 months now, and I want to talk to you about if it is a good purchase in 2026 or not. First, I'm gonna talk a bit about overconsumption. Most people who are looking to buy a new phone don't need all the new and fancy features that the most recent model has. That's what went into my mind. Firstly, when I was researching, the differences between the 16 Pro Max and the 15 Pro Max weren't that apparent, but the price difference was, especially when comparing a new iPhone 16 Pro Max to a refurbished or used 15 Pro Max, which is what I got. I got my iPhone 15 Pro Max refurbished for around €880 about 8 months ago. I believe it was a really great purchase, especially considering the phone that I got and the money I saved by not spending it on a 16 Pro Max. Yes, the new 17 Pros may have a new fancy design, slightly better cameras, more niche features for creators and stuff, but let's be honest, most people don't really need all that stuff, and technology has evolved so much already that if you look at 2 to 3-year-old phones, they're not really outdated. I'm gonna tell you the experience I've had with the phone over the last 8 months and how it holds up to the newer models. So firstly, I want to talk about battery life. In my experience, battery life has been amazing. It's a bigger phone, so it has a bigger battery inside. I also believe that it is very optimized. I can even charge my phone only up to 90% and it will last me a day easily, especially if I don't use my phone that much. If I do, and I want to stay above 20% because I don't really like my phone to go that low on battery, I may have to charge it a second time, but it's all good. The phone has great battery life. The 15 Pro Maxes had an overheating issue in the beginning when they launched, but ever since it's been fixed with software updates, but I've experienced a bit of overheating when I'm doing a lot of stuff at the same time and challenging stuff for the phone. For example, using your camera app for a long time, or being in a call and playing a game at the same time. In those situations, the phone can overheat, but it's nothing very significant. For me, I actually think I prefer the smaller size of the 15 Pro. I haven't had the 15 Pro, but I've had the 13 before this one. I think the size was a bit better to handhold, especially when you're texting or you're holding your phone with just one hand. I think it's a lot more practical than the Pro Max models, but of course you're sacrificing the smaller compact size and you're getting a bigger screen, bigger battery. Taking advantage that I'm talking of the screen, we're gonna move on to the screen. The screen on this phone is absolutely amazing. I'm currently not using social media a bunch, which is what most people nowadays use to consume content, but I've still been using a bit fair of YouTube, and I've been playing Clash Royale lately, and the quality of the screen is just so good. The brightness is decent, even outdoors. The size, for me, watching content, is a bit better than the smaller compact size. It is especially great for playing games. I've been really enjoying playing Clash Royale on the screen, especially because of jumping from 60Hz to now 120Hz from the iPhone 13. It's just an amazing experience, and the screen is really on par with the newer models. You also get the dynamic island, which is a feature that's been on iPhones since the 14 Pros, and in my experience I really like it. It's really interactive and it makes the whole experience of using your phone a lot better. Now, moving on to cameras. The newer iPhone 17 Pro has more megapixels on almost all cameras, not the main one. The main one stays the same, but I believe not everyone needs that. This phone has got a good selfie camera, which is 12 megapixels. It has the main camera, which is the 1X, which is 48 megapixels. That is a really good camera. Then you have the ultra-wide and the telephoto. The iPhone 15 Pro Max was the first one to get the 5 times optical zoom, which is just mind-blowing. I went to see a football match, and when the players were next to me and I zoomed in on them, I could see so much detail. This telephoto zoom lens is amazing, especially if you're jumping from a phone that had no telephoto lens. This is just incredible. Also, one thing that this phone doesn't stay much behind is features for creators. This phone can shoot RAW images, and it can shoot in Apple Log ProRes RAW, which is just absurd. the amount of quality you get on that codec, and of course shooting in log if you wanna get into color grading is amazing. But one thing you have to note is that the files are really huge. If you shoot just a 1-minute video in 4K in Apple ProRes RAW and Apple Log, the file is gonna take up a lot of space in your phone, like above 2 gigabytes. I'm not sure about that, but I think it is way more than that. If your phone's filling up, just be careful because those files are really huge. Now, how much do I use these features? The raw photos, I don't really use that much because when I import them to the Lightroom mobile app, the colors get all funky and I don't really like it. I just leave that to the side really, and the normal photos look great to me, and they also take up less space on your phone. But the Apple ProRes RAW and Log, I find it to be amazing, especially if you're a content creator and you want to get more professional looking footage out of your phone. It is so good to get that amazing quality on your phone that you don't even have to bring a camera around. It's just that good. I've even filmed some shots on my phone for this YouTube channel, and it is perfectly fine starting with a phone. Now, the iPhone 15 Pros also introduced something new, which is the action button. So instead of you getting that physical switch here on the side, you get the action button that you can program to whatever you want. I'm gonna be honest with you, I kind of prefer the physical switch, but the newer phones also have the action button, and you can only get it if you go for the 14 Pros or lower. So do I think this phone is good value or not in 2026? I believe it is great value depending on how much you pay for the phone. So for example, I paid $880 for the 512 gigabyte version because I knew I would be filming some type of stuff. I believe that was a good deal, especially because they've had the screen and the battery replaced. So basically it was just like a new phone. The battery was at 100% and the screen had no visual scratches. So it all depends on how much you're paying and how is the condition of the phone. So let's say you're paying around 700 to 750 bucks for the 256 gigabyte version, and it's in similar condition to what mine is. I believe it's a great deal. It's still a really capable phone, and Apple just announced recently that they're partnering with Google to power their new AI Siri. So the iPhone 15 Pros also get access to that Siri. Any other iPhone model below that won't be able to get that Siri. I believe there's great stuff coming from that partnership. Thank you for watching the video. Consider leaving a like down below, and I hope to see you on the next one. Peace.